And that's it. I'll guide
Okay,
you through
that sounds
everything.
good.
We do this every week.
That sounds good.
Don't you have a... Yeah.
I have my own.
I can't wait.
And I'm glad we all color coordinated on the shirts, by the way,
Right,
guys.
right.
Well done.
Yeah. That is hilarious.
Nice.
Light blues.
It's the blue day. And we do try... We should finish right about 6:05
Good.
at the latest. Good. Cool?
I've got a hockey game to watch.
Ooh, I don't know
I'm a
nothing
big
about
Ranger fan. I'm from New York.
Oh, we're gonna... Wait.
Really?
Say it,
We don't have to talk about
All right.
that.
Yeah. When you hear the music, we'll be recording.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of the FlappCast, Behind the Funny, where we talk about behinds. No, we talk about what goes on behind the scenes of a comedy club and where all that masterful writing comes from behind the comics. I'm Barbara Holliday.
I'm Joshua Snyder.
And we have the amazing Eddie Pepitone with us today.
Hi, everybody. I'm so glad that you've tuned in and that you can hear what really goes on in the comedy world.
Yeah, because, they just get to see the glamorous you on stage, and you are so glamorous.
Right. I mean, boy, I really look good on stage. I have
Oh,
a lot
you
of,
do. You
I have
do.
a lot of charisma, and my clothes aren't great, but I'm very pumped up on stage. But it's moments like these, where I just come in from my car and I just don't feel well about anything. I mean, that's the secret about being a comedian is hilarious because it's like we really, comedians usually don't feel that great about things. I don't know one comedian who is like, they wake up and go, another day. I love it, baby! Bacon and eggs are cooking downstairs, and I get to have another day at this grand thing called life. Comedians tend to be, like, oh boy, I wish it would have ended last night.
Yeah, life sucks.
I tried to suffocate myself.
Wait, so Eddie, if you do not know Eddie Pepitone, which I'm sure you all do, but really in the last couple years, your career has really sort of taken off, and you've become like a...
And this is what I tell young kids, because I'm 55, I tell them, just hang in till 53, and you'll be fine. Like, I love talking to like 20-somethings and go, look guys, all you have is another 25 years to get through before things start happening for you. But that's not true. Everybody has their own timeline, and I'm just kind of like that guy who, it just, whatever reasons, I never, like, I was, well, honesty, I was an emotional wreck for many, many years. And I just mean, like, I never really was able to be laser focused on success. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just was a guy who, like, kind of did what I wanted to do, and I don't know what category I fell in, but you know what I always regretted? Not getting a shot with Saturday Night Live when it was funny. Like, I don't consider it funny anymore. Can you say bad things about other comedians on the show?
Yes.
Please.
Because I kind of bash a lot of things. That's my thing.
Well,
No, because I earned it. I mean...
when did you start doing that, though? Like, okay, so you never got to audition for SNL.
I never auditioned for SNL, but I got seen by a bunch of people.
How did you get started,
I just walked out of the house, finally. I was one of those people who was kept in the house under duress. You've seen the stories in the news. No. How did I get started? You know what? For me, being a comedian was really... I just had kind of no choice. I just was a person who was so unable to focus on, like, academic stuff. I really couldn't. Like, you know what basically snapped me? Like, I snapped when I was in college. I went to Fordham University in the Bronx in New York, and I took a calculus course, and I just was like, fuck this. Can you curse? I
Absolutely.
was like,
fuck calculus. I fucking hate
I was
calculus.
like, it was so abstract, and I was such a person who just needed to express myself. I know that sounds like something out of chorus line, but...
Did you get an F? What? Did you get an F?
I dropped it.
Oh, college
I didn't even
altogether?
let them give me an F. I was like, I'm out of here.
You ain't fucking giving me an
Right.
F, you.
Right.
That's that where the heckling started?
Were you in for a particular major at the time?
Yes, I was.
Calculus.
You know, at first I was trying to please my father, who was a dean in a high school and a very academic guy. And so I was like, oh, Daddy, I'm going to be a dentist I came up with. Don't fucking ask me why. I have the worst teeth.
Dentist.
Yeah, I have the worst teeth in the world. And every dentist I have met is fucking insane. Have you ever noticed that? They're all fucking crazy. And if my Dr. Herman is listening, Dr. Herman, if you are listening to the Flappers podcast, first of all, kudos to you for
Fucking
listening to comedy podcasts because you didn't seem like that type of guy. And secondly, you are crazy, but you're a decent dentist, so thank you. Dr. Herman. No, because I feel like you can't. You know what? I was mad at my dentist today because he did some work and I had to go into, and it fucked up a little bit, so I had to go in to get a repair today. And I was like, I'm going to go in and tell him that he fucking rushed me through last time and fucked me over. And then I thought, that is not going to lead to good things. Like, you really can't tell someone who's working in your mouth, you know what, buddy? You better get your fucking act together. Because he could fucking, I don't know what he could do, you know, in my mouth. They could put little poisons in your mouth that slowly kill you. I've seen forensic files. This shit happens all the time.
Yeah. My dentist is named Dr. Poon. Poontang.
Whoa!
Dr. Poontang.
Is that right? Is that why you chose him? You were like, hey, finally I can get some attention
Oh,
here.
yeah. He knows right where to put the attention, too. And that laughing gas.
bet.
Oh,
Do you do laughing
better
gas?
than roofies, I'm
Do
telling you.
you do laughing gas?
Yeah, I'll take
I have
anything.
not
Give
done-
me drugs, man.
I didn't even know they do it anymore.
Oh, yeah. Give it. Bring it on.
Really?
Yeah. Do you guys feel like an earthquake right now?
Oh, no.
Yeah, a little bit.
We
Was
did
that an
not have an
earthquake?
earthquake, did we? Did you guys feel a
I
tremor?
think we just had an earthquake.
I thought it was a truck.
Was it? Oh, that's it?
I didn't feel. I'm pretty sensitive.
Maybe it's just Eddie is like shaking.
I
the earth
farted.
around.
I don't know if-
Oh, that was it. That was it.
That's such a like kid joke. I farted. That was the earthquake.
So why
You're
did
going to
you?
be a good comedian, son.
Why did you take calculus to be a dentist? Do they really have to take math like that? I
Yeah.
guess they're
Well,
doctors.
back, you know, it was
For
like
the
I was-
billing.
Oh, right, for the
The what?
billing.
For the billing.
It was part of the curriculum at Fordham, and they had a hard. I was like, holy shit! I was one of those guys. I was in high school in Brooklyn Tech. I went to Brooklyn Tech High School, and even that shouldn't have been me. I should have been in a liberal arts. I was always
Right.
like not a science guy, but I was trying to please my dad. So anyway, I dropped out of college. I never finished it, and I just started taking acting classes. And here's why I became a comedian. I started taking acting classes, and everybody would laugh at my serious acting scenes. I mean, they would be dying. I would be like trying to do Willie Loman for real, and they would be like slapping the floor.
Oh.
But later in my life, I've become a good actor, I think. I like doing serious stuff.
Yeah, you've been in tons of things. Like you're one of those actors that's like in everything, and you, until you know you, then you watch you, and you're like, oh my God, that's Eddie Pepitone. Like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I know you were in that.
Yeah.
And then
I would love to have a series. Like if I had the money and could produce myself. Like if I was Seth Rogen or something and I had all this money, I would do a serious series, no comedy. But like, I think every good drama is funny underneath. You know what I mean? Like there's, except the one exception to that I think would be Breaking Bad, which I don't think was very funny, was it?
No.
Or did it have some funny shit? Well, the meth heads were funny when they, did you watch Breaking Bad?
A little bit, yeah.
Just only a little?
Yeah.
You're a busy
it's
woman.
No, it's not. It's
You
not
didn't like
really
it?
my thing. No,
My wife
yeah.
didn't like it. She was like,
Yeah.
ah, these fucking meth heads, they're
It's a little
glorifying.
too-
They're glorifying Bryan Cranston's character. What was his name again? I've already forgotten.
Walter White.
Walter. They're glorifying Walter White, this fucking scumbag. And I'm like, it's interesting, honey.
Yeah, he went from, was it Wonder Years or Malcolm in the Middle? to,
Yeah.
I worked with him on
No.
Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh, you see? You were in Malcolm. See, all these credits are
I
coming
had a
up.
real little part, but I got to meet him and everything.
He was.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because I think Bryan Cranston. I think he's a funny guy. In life.
Yeah, he
he's a
is.
really good sense of humor. I bet that. I think
Yeah.
that comes through. I think really good.
That's a
dramatic
good point.
acting.
Like my acting teacher used to say
He's hilarious.
that in every like serious drama, you have to find the comedy.
Right.
Just because to give it depth. Like, you ever watch something so serious? Like, I went, for shits and giggles yesterday, me and my wife went to Godzilla. Now, I never really...
That's hilarious.
It was fucking so hilarious. Like, I partly like the 3D, like, stuff, but the storylines are so absurdly, like, dumb, and also, like, they're so sentimental, like the guy, they focus in. Did you see this shit?
No.
Like they focus in on the hero who's basically saying to his wife, "I've gotta go and kill Godzilla, baby. I'll be back. Probably not for dinner." And then he turns to his little boy. I mean, this is the Hollywood movies, and like, "Hey, little man, Daddy has gotta go kill a monster the size of fucking 25 skyscrapers."
He did not.
And the kid
This
is
an
like,
actual
well,
one.
you know what I mean.
come
It's
on.
just so bad. But what I was going to say about that
I would like
movie-
to see you do
Yes.
as the soldier.
Yeah.
That's what?
If you could, I would like to see you as the soldier talking to the family, like just
Yes,
saying
I
that
would
exact
like to
thing.
do that. But to my point, like there was one character, a Japanese scientist, who just the whole movie, his thing, he had the same expression the whole movie, just like, oh, fuck.
Why is this funny?
fucking,
Look at it.
it's fucking Godzilla. Oh fuck.
Not King
And like there was
Kong.
no
It's got
humor
some-
in it. Yeah, not King Kong. I always get them confused.
I do too.
But
yeah.
King Kong apparently
King Kong's the
has a
romantic.
cock ring.
Oh.
And that's the only way I know them.
He's the romantic one.
He's
King
the
Kong.
romantic
yeah.
one.
He's the scoop the girl up in it. You know.
Yeah, right.
And she
in
falls
love
in love with.
Oh,
yeah.
was that King Kong who
Yes,
climbed the
yes.
Empire State Building?
But Godzilla just steps on things, right? That's what steps
Godzilla-
on buildings and cars and shit.
But then
right?
fights
Well,
other
King
monsters, and like, doesn't he save the day?
He does.
Sort of.
He's the good monster.
And did they do the lip dubbing? What do you call that? You know, in the original Godzilla. The-
No.
Oh,
not
that
in
would've
this
been
one.
funny.
They had subtitles sometime for like 2 seconds, but
Don't you remember the original Godzilla? It was.
oh, that yeah. What do they call it? Dubbing. It's
Dubbing.
horrible. That's
I
horrible.
want
That would be
Godzilla to
funny.
talk. I want to know what he's thinking. That's what I want, and I
Yeah.
want him to have maybe your
If
voice.
Godzilla
you could-
were Eddie Pepitone, what would he say?
He would be. Well, first I would trample a lot of Hollywood.
Perfect. Yeah.
No, it would be
Yep.
funny. It would be funny if I would Godzilla and I was just looking for one guy who fucked me over in 4th grade. Where
That
the
guy.
fuck is that motherfucker? Like, just destroying the city as long as I get this guy.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So were you always a comedian, or did you have some other
Well,
jobs?
pretty
You
much.
dropped out of college, and then what was your first time on stage? How did that happen?
What was my first time on
Yeah,
stage?
do you remember,
Oh
like, your
yeah, I
first
do.
stand-up?
Well, when I first started, the thing I remember most is that I was so nervous. I mean, I would actually, literally, I'm serious. I would actually throw up sometimes in the club, like in the bathroom. Like I was literally had tremendous stage fright before I would perform. You know, I mean, so scared. And I remember one time, like being in a bathroom stall of a club, and I was supposed to perform that night, and I was really so nervous. I said to myself, "Well, why are you fucking doing it?"
Right.
I really came to that. I was like, "Well, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it?" And so the answer is back then, and now is that I don't really have a choice as far as like just what I do, you know, like, I mean, I always kind of was a comedian, like that's how I dealt with life. That's how I dealt with it.
Did you actually write out a set or take a class or?
I
what got
would, you know what I
on?
would do when I was younger? I would write out funny ideas, and I kind of still do that. Like I would go, oh, what if Anderson Cooper were interviewing Godzilla? like I would write out funny thoughts, and then I would riff on them, and I still kind of do that. I'm not a great writer. Like I don't write out a lot of comics. I kind of admire the comics who can really write, like, you know, one-liners and stuff like that. I love to write, but like in a short story format. I write short stories. I write a bunch of short stories, but as far as being a comedian, like the way I write is on stage. I have ideas, and I do tweak it. I listen to my sets after I perform. I listen to them, and I'll say, oh, I said that. That's a really good line, and I'll keep it, and I'll tweak it like that. So my writing is kind of done on my feet, and then listening, and you know, and then I will sit down and write, but I'm not that great a writer when I'm just alone and writing in coffee shops and
Well,
stuff.
you're such a character. I'm
Yeah,
curious.
that's my thing.
I'm curious. So when did it go, like, from being sick and reciting some monologue to
It took a long time.
this heckling thing that you
Yeah.
do, in which you totally interact with the audience?
Yeah.
And
It took me a long time to be able to like use the fear to to be funny. You know what I mean?
That's good stuff.
That sounds interesting.
Very deep.
No,
I want to know more about that. How do you mean that?
When did
It
we...
just took a long time for me to be able to, like, and still, like, that's a good set when I can use my fear and really channel it into being funny. I mean, because when I first started, I would just kind of go up with, like, concepts and, like, be like, so, you know, what if, you know, so I have 5 cats, and boy, they, a lot of them are very neurotic, you know, and just, like, kind of not really be in the flow. You know what it is? I think it's like accepting who I am, like, as a person, like accepting, like, oh my fucking, just like the flow, you know, like just kind of accepting who I am as a person, and then I don't give a shit about the audience as much, because, you know, when you first start out, at least for me, I was a people, like, I just wanted everybody to love me, and, like, every comedian has that, no matter what, no matter, even Louis C.K., you know what I mean? Like, Louis still wants the audience to fucking love him, but there's a large part of him that doesn't give a fuck. Whereas when you first start out, you're like, oh my God, if this audience doesn't love me, I'm gonna fucking kill myself. I would bomb. When I bombed when I was young, it would destroy me for days. Now when I bomb, I like go in my car.
Tell us the secrets.
I go in my car, and by the time I've driven home, I'm like, that sucked. The fuck happened there? You know? It just makes me try harder the next time. Like, I think what happens to me at this point is that I get overconfident, and I just kind of sometimes phone, like I don't try to, I'm not aware that I'm phoning it in, but I'll be like, oh, I phoned that in tonight. That's why I gotta fucking be less tired. Like, sometimes I'll not even realize how tired I am before a show, or I haven't eaten, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I think if you're gonna perform, and especially for kind of a big show, you know, you have to try to be rested. It's tough when you travel. I'm not a good traveler. You know what I mean? Like, I travel, and like the first day I'm at a place, I'm fucking exhausted. I don't know what it is about taking airplanes, but I've heard a lot of comedians that they'll, like, immediately get to a new city and start working out. I'm the fucking opposite. I get to a new city and I collapse for a day, you know. But so I think when I have a bad set now, I'm like, okay, I gotta be more rested. I gotta be more on top of my game. I gotta look at my set list more. I gotta have a game plan, because a lot of times, like now, I've gotten so used to riffing.
Yeah, when did that shift happen? That's kind of what I'm looking, because it sounds like you were formulated and you were doing everything right, and then your career was so-so, and you were getting some acting.
You know what
roles.
happened?
Yeah.
It happened. Here's how I think comedians get good. Is they find other comedians they like. Like, there's usually what happens is that when you start out doing stand-up, you know, and if you keep with it, you'll gravitate toward people that you have a real affinity for, and you get each other. Then you hang out together, and then you perform a lot together, and you go through this growth spurt. when you really start performing a lot, and your friends then are like, oh, you should do that, you know, like, and you feedback and stuff, and you know, you kind of carry, but it's a combination of performing a lot and having the support of people that you like.
And who was that for you?
It was this homeless drifter who, I know, for me, in New York, it was people like a woman named Becky Donahue.
Oh.
You know Becky?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Ophira Eisenberg, who has an NPR show now, and other people that I don't think you've heard. Oh, I also performed a lot with Ed Helms.
Ooh,
Who got
days.
way bigger than
Yeah.
me, and I resented. I resent him to this day because I'm funnier, and I'm like,
Definitely.
what the fuck? You're just in every movie and television, and I'm just funnier than you, Ed. I don't tell him that, but hopefully he will hear this. I think he knows it. He must know it. How can he not know it?
There is that horrible sense as a comedian when you're coming up with people. I mean, I know what that feels like too, and they're getting more TV opportunities, and you know,
Oh, well,
maybe
that
you're
shit
doing
is
more
just
stuff.
like, yeah, that is hard. That is hard. But you know, if you're a real comedian, you just kind of keep, you know, you just keep doing your thing, and then
Right.
you'll get some stuff too.
But do you remember that moment when you really let loose and you're like, this is my voice now? You know?
Wow, I don't know
if
if I don't know if I really remember the particular moment, but like I used to work out in this place with Becky being the host, Becky Donahue, at a place called B3. It was on Avenue B and 3rd Street on the Lower East Side of New York. And just being in that basement, it's always like some kind of fucked up
Shithole.
space. Yeah, it's always a shithole. It's always a shithole where you kind of get good.
Right.
Because, you know, first of all, it's hard to get good in the really good clubs, you know, at first, because, you know, you're trying too hard.
Yeah.
Whereas you can just fucking be like, whatever. And so I think just performing. I would perform in New York. I would perform, you know, like 3 times a night for a while.
Wow.
And,
Jeez.
you know, 2-3 times a night, and just really started. And then after a while, you're just like, oh, I get it. Like, it's like, I just got to go up and be myself, you know? And that's what's funny, you know, unfortunately. Because some people live dignified lives. They're full of dignity and grace. You realize you're just insane.
No, you're married.
I'm married.
I
That
don't know
is-
anything about your lovely wife, I'm assuming. And
Yeah.
was she a fan? Is she a comedian?
Well, have you heard of the mail order process?
Oh, yes. So
Amazon Prime is amazing.
Yeah, free shipping.
I recommend Amazon Prime for everybody. No, yeah, I mean that was a big step in my life, because I mean I've never been married, you know. I just have not. I was never the family guy, you know. But anyway, I met my wife
like one on TV.
I can definitely play one, especially network family people, because they pay really well. But I met her about 9 years ago, and we were together about 7, and then I was like, oh, you know what, maybe we should get married. That's what people do, right? I mean, I never know. I never follow, you know, I don't know. I mean, I never had kids, which now I'm like, ooh, is this sad? I'm getting to that point now where I'm like, huh, because all my friends have kids. And I just rail against them. I'm like, you're a coward. You can't face your own life. That's why I think people have children, is they can't face. They like need.
It's a distraction.
They need to put someone else in the equation.
Right.
So they don't think about themselves all day. I really think that is a big part of it. I actually have a dog now, which I swear to God,
yeah.
I think it's wild, because I treat the dog like my kid, and I think I'm way too in tune with this dog.
And
I
what's
love
her
this
name,
dog, but I think
Liz?
it's too much Charlotte. She's a terrier, and she
Charlotte.
is a rescue, so she's got these abandonment issues,
Oh.
and I have these abandonment issues, and together we're like we're comforting each other. It's insane. I'm like, Charlotte, my whole days are spent like, Charlotte, did you just? Is that Are you okay, Charlotte? She looks at me and it's like, it's just insane.
Animals
But I
are the
get it
best,
now.
yeah.
I get like the thing of having a family now. You
But
know?
it's too late for you to actually do it.
You know, how old was
Perfect.
David Letterman when he had a kid? He was pretty old, wasn't
Oh,
he?
I guess the guy can have. Well,
Well, the guy can do it.
Yes,
We can
yes.
adopt.
right.
You
Like
know.
a rescue. You can rescue.
My wife is 79.
Oh,
I'm kidding. Wouldn't that be fun? If she heard this, she would
If-
kill me.
really?
She would kill
Well,
me.
you haven't said her name yet, so she's protected, right? Somewhat.
No,
We'll imagine.
She's younger than me.
But does she come and watch all your shows? And-
No, she used to.
Yeah.
She used to.
Did you heckle her?
No. No. Fuck no. But
That would not be a good home life.
she picks and chooses now what show, because I do so many. She's like, I don't know if I want to go tonight.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to go. I'm getting a lot of that lately. No, I'll stay here with the dog.
Oh, she's
And
got the
I'll be watching X-Men. She loves comic book stuff. So she's always watching like the Green fucking Lantern or the Red Lantern. Do you know how many colors there are for the lanterns?
Yeah,
Did you know
they're
this?
all-
Yeah.
And I know this through osmosis now. Like I know all about like the League of Gentlemen and the fucking X-Men, and like I'm just the opposite. I'm not a comic book guy. I grew up like a sports fan. So we're like sports fans. I don't. Well, maybe there is crossover, but our heroes are like the athletes, you know, which is sad too. Very sad.
So does she drag you to see all the comic book movies and stuff?
Yeah, I go with her, and like I get into it. Like I saw all the Iron Mans.
Mm-hmm.
I was very into Iron Man 1. By Iron Man 3, I wasn't into it.
It's enough
You know,
iron after
it's
one
a lot
or
of
two.
iron,
Yeah.
and iron, you know,
It's too much.
Your daily dose of iron
Right.
is good after Iron Man 1. Spider-Man, they can go fuck himself with all the reboots. It's like, fuck you, you idiot. How many times are they going to reboot that shit? My friend had a joke saying, in the last Spider-Man movie, this last Spider-Man reboot, halfway through the movie, they rebooted it.
How about the musical? Jesus.
And
really?
Spider-Man the musical?
I know.
That shows you how
Too
out of
much.
ideas
Right.
and how safe Hollywood plays it. They're like, well, what should we spend our millions of dollars on? Well, something that's worked before. I certainly don't want anything original.
Right. That would be too
Let's
risky.
do Spider-Man 29.
So, Eddie, you have your own podcast.
I do. It's called Pep Talks with the Bitter Buddha, Eddie Pepitone. And it comes out every Thursday on the All Things Comedy Network.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And you have a website?
I have a website, eddiepepitone.com. And you can follow me at Twitter, at Eddie Pepitone. That's EDDIEPEPITONE.
Oh.
And like my Facebook fan page.
Wow.
And that's basically it. After that, you can't have access to it. I draw the line at Twitter. Like, I'll do Twitter, Facebook, a website, and be in public a lot. But after that, I'm very private and...
So not a
do
lot
you
on
like
Instagram.
Do you like to meet and
I am
greet?
on Instagram.
Oh, you are?
Oh.
But I try, you know, it's too much after a while, though. It's like, okay, you know, I got into Instagram. You know, I was one of the idiots on Instagram who would take selfies all the time, and I just realized how fucking sick that was. Like, I started taking pictures of myself, and I really like my eyes. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? It was bizarre, and now I just kind of take pictures of trees every once in a while. It's so boring. I'm like, a tree grows in NoHo, and I
You
get like
were
3 likes.
You were the initial selfie instigator.
I
love
didn't
it.
even know it. I was like doing this shit, and then there was a term for it, and then I was like, oh my god,
no.
you're one of these people.
Yeah. Yeah. And now look what's happened. There's like a rap song about it, and friggin' Ellen, and
At least I
everything.
have some awareness of it. When I look at some people's Instagram accounts, I'm like, how fucking narcissistic, you know, and I'll follow them, but how fucking narcissistic.
So, Eddie, we have you here on Friday night, August.
Yes.
August.
You're jumping ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna book you in a few months, but it's May now, so May,
Wow, it's
May 30th,
May.
Friday, 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock.
Yes.
So you gotta come down. Every show is different. You could stay for
It
the
is.
first show and watch the second show.
Yeah.
And of course, you're bringing a comic with you, Jake Wiseman, right?
Right, Jake
Who
Wiseman.
is awesome. I just saw
I love
him
Jake.
at the Montreal callback.
He's funny. He's pretty crazy too, and he's like me. He's a cat lover.
Quirky.
He's very quirky.
Yeah.
He loves cats, which is a great thing to say about a young man.
And especially you that has a dog.
Well, I have 5 cats.
Oh, you didn't tell
Well,
us
I had
that
2,
part.
and my wife had 3.
Oh,
and
so you were like the Brady cat
yes,
bunch?
and so now there's fucking 5.
And a dog.
It's not good.
Poor Charlotte.
Poor cats.
She's surrounded
because
by
she just
pussy.
fucking terrorizes them. You know, it was so funny. The rescue agency had on her profile gets along beautifully with cats. And it is hilarious because she doesn't let them on the bed. Like we have Charlotte on the bed, and they used to come up and hang with us, and she just is like a Nazi guard.
My bed.
Yeah, she's like in the tower, and they're like, it's hilarious. She has it particularly out for one of our cats, Criswell, because he's very courageous and he likes to jump. And if we even say his name, I get a kick out of it. If I go Criswell, all I hear from her is. It's so funny. I just say the cat's name, and she starts this low guttural. It's very funny to me.
So you're a cat lady and you married a cat lady. Look at that.
Yes,
Now you're.
yes.
God, that's
Yes.
a lot of cats.
5 cats.
Wow.
It's a little too many.
Isn't there? Where do you live? What city do you live in?
We live in Catville.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
North Hollywood, North Hollywood, Studio City, Magnolia. Oh, I shouldn't say where I live.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. But you know what?
Marguerite and Johnson Streets.
You can find him on Twitter. All right. Hey, you know what's weird? In Burbank, you're only allowed 3 animals. That's why I was asking.
Bullshit.
Yeah. Uh-huh. It's a law. You're only
Bullshit.
allowed. Yep.
Oh, well, I bet that can't be too enforced. Imagine people going house to house.
Well,
we had to report you have 4 animals in here.
Well, I have the kind of neighbors that would report
Is
us.
that right?
Oh, yeah.
Do you have any animals?
Yes, we have 2 cats.
And Dave Ryman.
2 dogs.
Oh.
Shh, I'm over the limit.
Oh, you are over
Cindy
You just
Burbank
outed
is
yourself.
They don't know. I live at Mac. Follow me on Twitter. All right, well, Eddie, you've got so much experience and I'm sure so many great ideas. We have some new comics. We have this segment here we call Punch It Up, where
Okay.
we invite some new faces to come up and do some material for us, and then we have them come and chitty chat with us and give them some ideas.
Great.
And suggestions. Are you in?
I'm in.
All right, let's do Punch It Up. Joshua Snyder, who's our first comic?
All right, first comedian come to the stage, Albert Huber.
Albert.
Hey,
Hey.
podcasters. I've been trying to get my life in order a little bit more lately. I finally decided to clean my bathroom recently. I just realized that I'm in my mid-20s. I still haven't figured out how to clean my bathtub without getting completely buck-ass naked. I haven't figured that one out, and I thought that that's one of those things that you were just supposed to know how to do when you became an adult. Like, I thought I'd turn 21, it's like I know how to jump a car, I know how to do my taxes, I know how to, like, keep my clothes on while performing mundane tasks, because that's how it worked when you were a kid. I don't really remember, like, learning to speak, or learning to eat, or learning to go to the bathroom, or... I actually do kind of remember learning to go to the bathroom because I went to the bathroom weirdly when I was a kid. I grew up in Tokyo, in Japan, and our toilets were on the floor, like you had to squat over them. And so when I came back to America, I didn't know how to like poop like an American. Basically, I had to I would climb up onto the toilet and I guess like perch, kind of like a gargoyle. In a certain way, and I was terrified that somebody would find this out, especially like in a public bathroom, like at a school, that they would come in and see a locked door, but they could see under and there'd be no feet. I don't know what I thought someone would do, like they would like knock on the door and be like, hey, is someone pooping we're in there? I don't know why I was so scared of this, but I actually did this. I would kick my shoes off and line them up like feet, and then drape my pants over so they fell over my shoes and create this sort of pooping puppet in there so people would think it was just a normal pooper, and I would like shake the leg a little to create movement. I don't know why I thought people were pooping while going through it, but I thought I was tricking everybody, except my dad, he found out about it, and he, of course, thought it was hilarious. So he did what any good dad would do. He bought a bunch of little stone gargoyles to put around my bathroom and torment me. And first of all, this is horrible. But secondly, I've been thinking about it recently, and he went through a lot of effort just to do this. Because I don't know where I would find a bunch of little stone gargoyles to go out and do. I don't even comprehend. And this was before the internet and like Google and eBay. And he used the Yellow Pages. He went to the suburbs, made phone calls. He was like, "Hey, is this Ace Hardware? Yeah, you guys got a whole bunch of little stone gargoyles? No, not garden hoses, gargoyles. Yeah, like Notre Dame. I can wait. Oh. No, you got anything a little smaller than that? No, it's not for my lawn. My son, he poops weird, and I just want to zing him. He zinged me. All right, guys, thank you.
All right, Huber. Oh, bring that mic and come over and chit-chat with us. Scoot on in. How long you been doing comedy, Albert?
About a year and some months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very
Right.
new. So.
Yeah, I liked it. You know what I liked about it was that it was about your life. Like it wasn't just like, because a lot of times like young comedians would it just be abstract concepts, but you were talking about, you know, just growing up in Japan, and I think it was. I mean, the thing about pooping in Japan, and then like what was really funny was you pretending to move the pant, like you would go to that. You would go to that extreme, and probably, and you have to think about this, and you might want to add that to the routine, is that probably no one really gave a shit, and that's not a pun, no pun intended. You know what I mean? But like, could you imagine if, and this might be a funny angle,
All the mics are hot.
the people outside the store were like, Jesus Christ, you know, every time this guy goes in this shitter, I'm just wondering about him. It's just the focus of my life, because that is what
as if they care so much.
Yeah, right. That's
like,
what I
what's
mean.
he doing in there for so long?
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But anyway, I really liked that it was so autobiographical, you know? And when you switch to your dad, you may want to... was your dad a funny guy? Was he a character?
Yeah, he was like a bit... I mean, he was a joker. Yeah.
He was a joker, and
Yeah.
I would like, you know, because, well, this is just me, but like I kind of channel my dad. Like my dad was such a crazy Sicilian guy, and I don't know how crazy your dad is, but I would really kind of, and it's a good thing to do, especially when you're a younger comic, to like really get into like, you know, doing dad stuff and being your dad. Like you had your dad in this routine, like on, you know, hey, I'd like to get a gargoyle. You might want to play with that a little more. You know, like explore your dad, talking to them a little more, like maybe going, hey, you know, before you get the gargoyle, do you know that I have trouble with intimacy? But anyway, that's neither here nor thither. Who were a great vaudeville team. But I'm saying, like, really get into your dad a little more, because, or just think about it. You know,
Totally. Like, get that physicality and character of
yeah.
him in. Totally.
Yeah, because
Absolutely.
That's a good thing to do, is the people that we grow up with, and there's, you know, they torture us, and we love them, and they're just really good fodder.
Totally.
And I always say, you know, we don't know your dad, so it's what you think your dad sounds and says. You know, it's you're 100% right.
It doesn't actually have to be my dad.
Correct. Just how do you hear him? How does he sound to you? Maybe he's saying, "Oh, son, I love you," but you hear, "Hey, I'm getting another gargoyle," or whatever. You know, it's remember, the audience has no idea, and so you can really have fun with that, and that's the place you can say anything as your father.
Totally.
And I
Right,
would just
to
think
you.
too. I would just think too that growing up in Japan. When did you grow up? I mean, how long were you in
Yeah.
Japan for?
Very long time, actually.
I would think there's got to be a lot of stuff, man. And I mean, right now with Godzilla out,
Yeah.
there must be some shit there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
just the different cultural differences, you committing harikari, you know, whatever.
I had all questions about Japan, and this
Oh,
may
really?
sound stupid. I have no idea what you're talking about. What is the difference in Japan and the toilet? I don't know. Am I an idiot? Right.
Well, it's like, I mean, they're basically like, essentially, I mean, now, actually modern, most of them are like Western toilets, but when I was there, they were mostly just on the floor, and you had to squat over like a hole.
So really take us to that vision
Sure.
of what that is, because I didn't quite get that from the set, though if you just get to that detail, like, because a lot of people don't know. I've never been to Japan.
Sure.
So just tell us how it is, right? And remember, you have license to elaborate. This
It's
is
basically
comedy.
just a hole in the ground.
Well, I mean, it's more fancy than that. Like,
Ah,
there's
A fancy
it's a
hole.
fancy hole.
See, there's some comedy there, like
Space around it. I
a
don't
toilet salesman in Japan going, "This is the fanciest hole we got."
It's 2 inches wider than
Yeah,
the
it's
other
gonna
hole.
cost you about $1,500 for this hole. This is, I myself would
This is
shit in this. This
it's a
is a
shithole.
great.
It's a shithole. This is the best shithole that we have.
You will
I mean-
find this shithole in a shithole.
Yeah, or in Korea. I mean, this is a Japan shithole.
You're not
right
gonna
here.
find
what
another
I'm
little
saying.
toilet like that. But anyway,
Absolutely.
Yeah, so don't be afraid to, I mean, you're really new, a year and a couple months, you've got a lot, but I would just explore the details, Don't assume that the audience knows. Show us in your mind what and it doesn't have to be, remember, it's comedy, so how do you remember that toilet? You don't really have to clarify that when I was growing up, or you could say that, but it doesn't matter. Just tell us how you remember the toilets, right? Because then now we know what it's like, and we're there with you. Now the comparisons are going to be more funny because I know what you're talking about now, right?
Absolutely. That
Yes.
makes total sense.
Anyway, that was just my big note there. And I wanted more Japan also. Why? Is your mom Japanese? Is your dad what? I mean, how did you end up in Japan? You were born in Japan. They sent you over there. I mean, just lots of questions are when you jump. You really want to remember, you want to lead the audience one way so you can shock them with something else, right? So everything you say gets the audience thinking a certain way. And so if you just keep leading us but you don't pay it off, then we just get a little jumble. So remember that the goal is, okay, so I'm talking about this shithole here, right? And we lived in that shithole or whatever. I don't know. You just
have you done longer sets? Like, what's the longest set you've done?
10 minutes.
10.
That's
Right.
good.
Do you talk a lot about Japan or just in passing?
You know what? Honestly,
It's funny. We're going to turn you into the Japan. Look, I think you're gonna have to
I'm
talk a
turning
lot about
Japanese.
Japan.
I think I'm turning Japanese.
What the fuck are you talking about your time in America for?
yeah, that's the only like story that I have that is about growing up in Japan. But yeah, at this point, but yeah,
That's hilarious. That's the only story is like taking a shit in Japan.
I'm
Well,
gonna milk it.
it's not
Nothing
the-
else happened.
it's not the only
It's a
story.
fucking really very efficient place.
The food was terrible.
It's not the only story I have in my heart, but the only
Yeah.
stand-up story I have.
Right,
But
right,
I can
right,
make. I think definitely.
Yeah.
Mine definitely good for mining.
Well, stories are good. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's where it all stems from. But that, like I said, all the questions I was asking, just be careful. Like if you do tell us you grew up in Japan, we're then thinking, well, how did he get there? Was he born there? Did he live there? Are his parents Japanese?
Yeah.
Just a little. And it doesn't have to be like.
What is the answer to
well,
that?
Yeah.
My parents are international school teachers. My dad
My
teaches music.
parents are international
I thought he
sensations.
was gonna say something.
They're fucking sensational. No, they're international
They
school
fucked
teachers.
each other internationally.
That's pretty cool. That's very cool.
My dad's a music teacher, and so he
He's a
teaches
teacher?
at the American School in Japan. Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
there you go. That's interesting. And then there's that whole world, right? Like, did you get the hand-me-down education or what? Like, he was teaching the Japanese kids first, and you got the leftovers at home, or what?
Oh wow,
No?
that
I
would be
don't know.
horrible. No, I wasn't all.
Did
his
you get a good
classes,
Did he
education
teach you
there?
Japanese?
though. Yeah, it's a really, really good school.
It's really good, right?
Is it-
They're better than I can't imagine.
Do you
they're
know
not better than
Japanese?
us.
I used to be fairly good, and now I'm not that much anymore. I've been out here for a while.
Speaking
and I wasn't
Japanese?
ever great. Speaking Japanese,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And our school was in English because it was the American school in Japan.
Well, that's confusing.
So we had like diplomats kids and stuff.
Oh, diplomats kids.
Ooh, what are they like? Shitheads. Whole shitheads, the whole place. It's full of shit.
You're like beating the shit out of Nixon's kids. Kissinger's kids.
Yeah, you should make up
Did
who
you
the
guys
diplomats
dress the way
kids
they
were.
dress in the anime, where like the schoolgirls wearing like the really incredibly skin tight, or not, the.
What's going on, Josh?
Anime.
What the fuck is going on with Josh?
Well, Josh was a virgin. But he's not anymore. So
Josh
now
was
he's
hoping for my
Hey,
childhood.
can
to
you
be-
tell me about what the hell are they wearing in Japan? Because I've seen some videos that are absolutely interesting.
Those anime chicks are hot.
No.
No. All right, good to know.
That's your only Joshua.
Well, I just wanted to.
That's Josh punching it up. Hey, listen. Never mind your act, but what the fuck are they wearing?
Do they really make change from their, hoo-yas? Is this all true? Tell me.
The other thing I just wanted to say, this is also useless, but you look a lot like the Sixth Doctor from Doctor Who, and I think that's
The sixth one?
Yeah.
Who is it? Because my wife is a big Doctor Who fan.
That was Colin Baker.
Oh, Colin Baker.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You do look like Colin Baker. I don't know who Colin Baker is, but I'm going with Josh.
I'm gonna agree with that. Never watched Doctor Who, but I'll agree.
Google it.
Peter Capaldi's the new Doctor Who.
Yeah, I know.
All right, we're getting off track.
Geeks. So, Albert, thank you so much. I hope it was helpful
you were great.
for you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Thank
Keep
you for
going.
the help.
We'll see you again at Flapperson. Who else do we have, Joshua?
We have Becky Robinson, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, the ladies coming. Estrogen time. Is that right?
Hey guys,
Hey,
Hi.
it's nice to meet you
Oh.
all three of you.
Ooh.
Imagine if every show started like that.
Yeah,
Hi, nice to meet you two.
1,
Hey
2,
there.
and 3.
1, 2.
I've had a lot of shows like that, actually.
Just those late night empty. Hi, you want to just connect for a moment, please? I need help. I'm brand new to LA actually. I just moved to a part of town called WeHo.
Oh.
Guys familiar? Yeah. I've learned that WeHo is just short for we're homosexual. So that's been fun trying to figure out. I didn't know it was gonna be that way before I moved in, but I gotta say I kind of love it because I'm not very feminine. Like I try on the outside, I try really hard. I curl my hair and I shave my big toes, but I grew up in this little town in Oregon doing a lot of extreme sports, so I've kind of just been blessed with a sparkling personality of a raging lesbian, and I can't kick it, and it makes it hard to talk to guys out here because they want a certain woman that's very enhanced. I know Tinder and stuff's supposed to make it easier for us, but it doesn't, because to get a guy to go on a date with you on Tinder, you got to get past that first little stage of back and forth witty banter where you get to know each other. And I always jump the gun and overdo it with my aggressiveness. This guy sent me a message over the weekend, and it wasn't just like your average pickup line, like, hey, I want to stick my whole fist in your pussy. Like, it was nice, He goes, wow, great teeth, nice smile, and all kinds of pretty hair. And I responded and said, wait till you see my dick. It was just the first thing that came out. I'll get him with this one, yeah. Don't want to go out with me now. I tried to send a follow-up a few minutes later when I didn't hear anything and be like, oh, it's just something I say. Well, a screen popped up, unable to send, so like he blocked me. Most girls are afraid guys are gonna block them on dating sites, not fucking vice versa. Oh, thank you guys. That's it for me.
All right, Becky, hey, come on over here and chat with us for a sec. How are you doing?
Good. How are
So
you?
you're new to LA, but how long you been doing comedy?
I've been doing comedy for about 8 months. I did it a couple times in college, stopped, graduated, and moved up, and since I've been here, I've been doing it.
You're from Oregon?
Oh yeah, just outside of Portland. Yeah.
What school did you go to?
I went to San Diego State.
Oh, wait a second. I'm an
What?
SDSU alumni.
You're a San Diego State alumni?
Top 10 party school.
Yes,
Is that
we
right?
are.
Back when I was in there, but is it still out?
It's still pretty crazy, but they cracked down quite a bit.
I
Yeah.
loved
They
SDSU.
cracked down.
They tried.
Oh my God.
Is Monty's Den still there?
Monty's Den.
No.
I don't know about that one.
What was that, 19?
Oh,
Back in my day.
90 something, late? No.
That's so cool. You're an
Anyway,
Aztec.
congrats. Yeah,
Thank
good.
you. Yeah.
So were you a theater major?
I majored in business and then minored in theater film.
Okay, cool.
Did you like theater and film way better than business?
Yes.
You did, right?
Yeah, I kind of knew it was what I wanted to do, but my dad was always like, "Oh, you're gonna be a
Yes.
salesman."
Oh,
I was like, I don't know. All right, yeah.
A salesman. Was he a salesman?
He is. Yeah.
I knew it.
He's selling her into being a salesman. I love your voice.
Thank you. It's
Honestly,
a little raspy right now.
It's awesome though. I think
Oh,
it's
thank you.
like annoying thing in female comics usually is a high pitched voice like mine.
I
sometimes.
agree with that, by the way.
Ugh.
That the girly voice,
Ooh, it's
unless
horrible.
I don't know, you have to use it. Like Banter does it really well.
She
Yeah.
does. Yeah, she does.
So she's insane and everything.
Right, but she doesn't do. She also goes into those character voices, which are
Right.
deep.
That is what makes her so effective.
Yeah.
Character voices, yeah.
Is the character
I love
voices.
I love voices.
So she's in control of it, not like us. But your voice has that nice, listenable
Baritone.
quality.
So how long have you been? You've been doing it 8 months.
8 months.
Yeah, I've been
And
trying
how
to.
often are you performing these days?
When I say 8 months, yeah, that's when I really started going at trying to do at least once a night if I can.
And you're doing that here?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, great.
yeah.
That's
Even-
good. That's good.
Even if it's to my roommates at home at 3 a.m.
Right.
Come on, guys, I gotta try this new idea out. Come on.
Yeah. So I have one thought about the WeHo thing
Oh, yeah?
because I see where you were going. Like I think you were trying to set up another joke, and one
Yeah.
comment on that is, "Fuck segues. Segues are not needed. Just say what you have to say, especially as a woman. Don't apologize. Be opinionated. Tell us what you think." But the WeHo joke is a predictable outcome. That's all, because everyone does know what WeHo means. So can we
Yeah.
make up another punch for WeHo?
Well, I think what was
You know?
funny, to me, what was hilarious about what you said was that you didn't know that West Hollywood was a big
yeah.
gay haven. And to me, that's hilarious because
Okay.
West Hollywood is so well known. Like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it
you
is
know
to
now that
everyone
it's like
else.
it's like Greenwich Village. It's like
Yeah.
what Greenwich Village is in New York.
Uh-huh.
Now I didn't
And-
get that, Eddie, but I see what you're saying. That is
Well,
a great
that could
point.
be a funny taking off point, like,
I
and then
totally-
you
yeah.
don't know, you never
Yeah.
knew, like, it would be funny to say that you don't
I
know
thought
other
it-
shit that everybody knows
Yeah.
as
Oh,
well.
I see. Yeah. Because
You know what I
I'm
mean?
new.
Like,
I'm new here. Yeah.
I'm new. I had no fucking idea that Hollywood had to do with the movie business. I had no fucking clue. I just fell into it, or something like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I know my hair's blonde, but I
Yeah.
had no idea.
yeah.
And then West Hollywood.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
there's North Hollywood. You got it all.
Just kind of discovering every little piece
Yeah,
of the
that's
city.
a great. Now that works. I love that idea. That's a really great concept.
Oh, what I just came up with?
Yeah. Because, I mean, I didn't get that sense from her, but that is a good. And I was going to comment on the lady thing because this is a thing for me,
Yeah.
like women comics.
Yeah.
Number one, great voice, so just do that. But secondly, I got to say this: you're very attractive, and sometimes I think that can hurt a female comic because we need your vulnerabilities right up front.
Mm-hmm.
So what Eddie was just saying is a great way to go. Without falling into the blonde dumb stereotype.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying there's lots of other vulnerabilities.
You know, that's true and not true, though, I find.
Okay,
Like, I know
yeah.
exactly what you're saying, but look at Chelsea Peretti. Do you know Chelsea
Yes.
Peretti?
Oh, right. Yeah.
She doesn't have any vulnerability.
yeah.
No. Yeah.
At least to me. Like, she does, but she's so, like, strident in what she's saying. Like, she's so, like, fucked, like,
Well,
right
that's the key.
between the fucking eyes.
Right.
I love the way
Like-
sometimes I've heard her a couple sets of hers where she says like, "I know what you're thinking. Like I'm kind of that weird pretty," and it's so fun.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
always.
Well, that's an example of someone who really, and it takes time, they know themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I liked, and I don't know what you think about this as a woman, and Josh, I know you just want to talk about what she's wearing, but what I wanted to get your opinion, Barbara, is like when a pretty woman starts talking about sex in a very provocative way.
Yeah.
Because I liked it, like, I thought it was funny, like, and I think there's more to it, like, and I think this whole thing about fucking the witty, like when you meet someone online
yeah.
and there's witty banter at first, that is hilarious
The
to
dick
me.
line was
that
funny.
people,
Yeah.
well, the whole thing that people are being like in the French aristocracy at first, but what's really underneath is that they just want to fuck each other's brains. Like, it's so hilarious.
Yeah,
like
right.
at first it's like
But that's
all,
how it is.
it's like what was that movie about the French aristocracy? Like they would basically, I forget what, Dangerously Zongs.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
And it's all about wit, like battles
yeah.
of wit and like really high level.
Yeah.
And on the internet, it's like this low level wit. And then it's like, so to me, that was a funny joke, but I want to know what you think about her whipping her dick out. It was funny to me that he blocked you.
Oh yeah.
And
It's
I
just
think
a
there's a
different-
lot of funny, like, you could then maybe
She
even
should just
embellish
send
that.
pictures of that don't look anything like you, and create this whole thing where what he's saying, the dick thing, it just what it does is it especially when there's a pretty girl on stage. When you say a sexual comment, it goes right there. Am I right, Joshua Snyder? Whatever. But I heard that men think about sex every 2.5 seconds. Have you heard
I
that?
think that's unfair. I think it's 3, but
Oh,
go ahead.
good.
Okay.
No, I really,
Yeah.
give us a half second.
And so remember, your job as a comedian is to take us a certain direction and then shatter us. So that dick line does that, but it also does it in a very provocative way. And I personally think that you are way smarter than that. I can see a smartness in you. Who are you? Where'd you go? Obviously the Portland. How did you grow up? Are you from a big family or from a small family?
Are you smart?
Are you the prettiest one in your family? Are you the ugliest one in your family? Right. Yeah. And the dating stuff, dating stuff is a great topic. And but you can, there's so many, tell us about what's really going on Tinder. I mean, are you the one going, no.
What's it called?
yes?
Cinder?
Tinder.
Oh,
and
Tinder,
which one do you
yes,
say
Tinder.
yes on?
I'm like the old guy. Is it Cinder? Because
Oh, there's a new one. There's a new one, Eddie. It's for older people, for grandmas. It's called Grander.
no.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
one
that's
something
sad.
for
Yeah.
everything. There's one
Yeah.
for like sugar daddy where you get a guy to like take
I've heard
you
of that one.
shopping
Ooh,
and then
put that on
Oh,
there.
That's the
my
thing.
God.
I've never heard of that.
girls are going out and shopping for like 8 hours and then it's like kind of a form
Tinder,
of prostitution if you
grinders,
think about it. 'Cause
yeah.
then they go home and they have to like have sex with them.
Right. Oh, you feel obligated? Have
I
you
guess
done that?
so. No.
Oh, why not?
Well, because
Something to try out, I suppose.
All right, you're open to it. I see.
you're pimping her.
You're on Twitter.
Are you going to?
Well, you brought up a lot of topics when you went to Oregon, and again,
Yeah.
so you really have to think about it. If you're going to bring it up, you got to what extreme sports?
Okay.
What are you, a skateboarder? Are you a snowboarder? Are you a park
A
surfer?
snowboarder.
Oh, and a surfer?
Yeah.
Wow, that's good stuff. So what about that? Are you always the best? You said you were a tomboy. So
Yeah. I used to have dreads.
you had dreads? Do you have a picture?
Yes. So
Google it.
yeah, we can Google it.
Did
yeah.
you smoke a lot of weed?
I had a phase in high school. I
Oh,
would
just
say.
a phase. Good
Yeah,
for you.
She's from Oregon, for crying out loud. They're like country fair, great.
Because once I started smoking weed, it took me a long time to stop.
It did.
Yeah, I was just so in love with it.
I was kind of.
I stopped.
Was that yesterday you stopped?
I stopped yesterday
how
at 3
long-
o'clock.
Right, that's what I
God, I could no.
How many years would you say it spanned that you were smoking a lot of pot?
I haven't smoked a lot of pot, and the reason I
More
quit was
secret.
because of being a comedian. Even though a lot of comedians are successful stoners, but my material got better when I quit. Like my whole act got better when I quit pot because I was much more like just very alert. And I had the courage. It gave me more courage on stage because when I was a pothead, I just kind of like skated. I just kind of skated instead of like really kind of examine my life. Like most potheads don't really examine their lives.
The opposite effect on you.
For me, it did.
That's
I mean, you
insane.
examine your life on your couch,
Right.
when you're high.
I loved that you went to the dyke thing too. Here's the thing. People always think because you have a low voice that you're a lesbian, right? Don't you get that?
Yeah.
So address that. Do you hate it? Do you like it? What's your opinion about it? What are you frustrated? What makes you angry? I mean, what are your problems? Because you're so pretty and you don't have any problems. I mean, that's what I think the audience does when a pretty woman goes on stage. That's all I'm saying. It's like, what the fuck is your problem? Really? I don't like you. I'm a girl. I don't like you. So tell me what's wrong. Tell me what annoys you, what pisses you off.
Some just real serious.
Yeah, unless you really are a dumb shit and you want to go with that innocent, I don't know anything.
Oh, I could unravel a whole bag of problems.
You could go with, you can do that, but
No,
it
that's
really,
so, yeah. I don't
it's not
feel
you.
that way,
I can
no.
tell.
Yeah,
It should
definitely
be
not.
honest. Like Eddie said in the podcast today, when you really let it go on stage, and it's such a hard thing. I always say we teach classes, we teach people to be themselves on stage.
Yeah.
It sounds so simple, and yet it's the most difficult art form, I think, of all, because we put a stage, you got lights, you got a microphone, and now you have to perform, right? But in reality, you're just having a conversation, just like this.
Yeah.
And I love you much better sitting here talking to me the way, that's
But I liked her a lot when
interesting.
she said she whipped her dick out.
Of course you did, Eddie. Yeah.
Wait a minute, we have
Right
a
on
difference
that.
of opinion. Josh, can you weigh in on this?
Did you like the dip line,
I just
Josh?
want to know what the girls at Portland were wearing when they were wearing.
The girls of Portland. What the hell were they wearing a couple of days ago?
Alright, let's get real here. What were they wearing?
Do you have pictures?
Yes.
It wasn't similar to what the girls in Japan were wearing.
I'll send over an album right away.
Way to tie it all back together.
The Japanese are really fashionistas, aren't they? They're big time fashionistas.
They are.
The Portland people are just like,
yeah.
fuck it.
They're
Right.
just.
Let's have some coffee and smoke some weed.
Yeah, yeah.
No, like, you know.
I'm
What-
curious about the dreads. That's crazy. So
You had
that's
dreads.
yeah.
It was one of those things. I was wearing a beanie a lot because I was snowboarding all
That's
the
so,
time.
like, it's such a great stereotype. It's true, the stereotypes are true.
You are a lesbian.
No, no, very straight. I'm a straight woman.
You're a Rasta.
Well, I was a
You were a
Rastafari
Rasta,
for a
right?
little bit of time, yeah.
Yeah.
What's
That's
that
funny
like?
material.
Yeah, what's that like? Like I don't even know what that world is.
So do you hate skiers?
I love skiers.
Oh, you do?
You do?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get into the Winter Olympics?
Yes.
You big
Yeah.
time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved watching all that.
I think that was hilarious, the commentary though. Like how much can you say about skiing down a hill? Oh wow, that one they slipped just a
I know,
little bit on
I
that
know,
one,
I
and
know,
that was
I
a
know.
nice glide.
Yeah. Unless it's like freestyle extreme when they're explaining every trip. But if they're just, okay, he hit another mogul, now he's
Yeah.
really cruising. Wow.
Yeah.
Ooh, you
Yeah.
could do that. You could do that.
Okay.
One thing I noticed about people who do extreme sports,
Yeah.
I'm a sports fan, so I don't really get into extreme sports because to me, like, I'm this purist. Like, no, that's not sport. Like, that's bullshit on my part. But when I watch, one thing I noticed is that they're so fucking, and tell me if this is true or not, they're so cocky.
Yes.
They're so arrogant
Very,
in a
yeah.
way. Like, and I guess maybe you have to be like an arrogant type of person to do those insane things.
Yeah.
And everybody's broken every bone in their body.
They have, yeah.
Yeah.
They
And I think that would be funny shit
Yeah,
to
yeah.
explore a little bit.
It would, yeah. They're very because they put their life on the line like every
Did you
day.
do that too? Snowboarding you did?
I did, yeah.
Did you do those?
I did competitive snowboarding, yeah. I did slow
Yeah,
style
that's
and super
crazy
and
to
it
me.
was extreme. Had a couple of head slams and concussions and stuff, but never to the level that they're at now doing like triple flips. That's
Oh, really?
insane.
But you had concussions and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing I've
Were
been trying to
were
work
you
on-
part of an underdog story where you came from behind and won, and there was like an inspirational trainer?
Really,
won
Joshua?
the gold medal.
You've not tried the doggy style in the 2 days you've been having sex. You and the behind. It is behind the scenes. So that's what we're doing.
Where did that, I was asking if she was. Where did that come from?
Yeah, where did that?
I don't.
I think you're the one who's obsessed with sex.
Oh,
Here.
I see.
I think
Yeah.
he hit that 3-second mark again where it's on the mind.
Yep. That was 3 seconds. I counted. So anyway, what we're saying is you're interesting. Let yourself go, I think, and explore don't be afraid of the truth, and you get to spin it and say whatever the hell you want about it, but it'll really have more meat, I think. And you are a powerful performer. There's no doubt about that. Like, that part's easy for you. I think now it's like the choice of material is going to be really
Well,
important.
yeah, you've been doing it only 8 months. So
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
perform a lot. I always tell people, young people too, just fucking perform a lot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
for everything. This has been so
you.
helpful and so great to hear all this.
Becky Robinson.
Yay.
Right on. Thank you so much. And tune in tonight. We'll have the podcast up and you can hear yourself
Alrighty.
on FlappCast.com. Well, we're coming to a close. What a fun day.
I can't believe it's ending.
Eddie. But
I can't believe it.
You can actually come see Eddie this Friday at 8 and 10 o'clock. Get tickets. They are going fast. Jake Wiseman will be featuring with him. Awesome. Very funny.
Yes, very funny man.
Yes, and in Claremont this weekend we have
Jeff Richards,
Yeah.
drunk girl from SNL.
Yes, an SNL guy.
I love Jeff.
And then on Saturday night, because Eddie was so busy he couldn't do Saturday, but we have Jimmy Schubert and a Last Comic Standing taping. So
cool.
come down and watch that.
Can I
happening.
plug one more thing?
Yeah.
The reason I couldn't do Saturday is because I'm flying to New York to tape my comedy special
What?
for New Wave for Netflix, and it's going to be June 3rd and 4th at the Bell House in Brooklyn.
Perfect. So they can go and
Colin Quinn's going to be on it, Todd Barry, among others.
awesome. So
Yeah.
if you're in New York, check
Yeah,
that
come
out.
to the Bell House in Park Slope.
Perfect. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
thanks for
Eddie
having me, guys.
Pepitone. All right,
Thanks.
and don't forget to download our Flap app. It's free on iTunes, and it works on the Android, iPhone, any device you want. Please also check out our website, flapperscomedy.com, for all the latest updates. Our schedules change a lot. And tonight, by the way, Gallagher is popping in for the 8 o'clock show. So if you catch the podcast today, come on down and see Gallagher. We've got lots of celebrity types dropping in all the time. So thanks so much again for joining us. I'm Barbara Holliday.
I'm Joshua Snyder.
Flap out.